All right, guys, you're looking at the thumbnail, you're looking at the title of the video, you already know what time it is. It is time to get active. Guys, I was on the way to the gym, and I took a look at my Instagram account right before I left, and I saw that someone sent me this particular article. So the gym is on hold right now because I think that this deserves a conversation. Now, let's just pop down in there and let's go through this, okay? Issa Rae announces marriage by posting gorgeous photos of wedding in France, okay? Rae, 36, has been notably private about her love life. Here's the thing. Here's why I wanted to go through this, and there's going to be a lesson at the end of this, okay? There's a couple of reasons. Number one, Issa Rae is 36 years old, okay? She's my age. I actually thought she was a little bit younger than that, okay? At being 36 years old, she has reached the age and the stage of life that we refer to on this side of the internet as the wall, okay? She's post-wall for sure, all right? But I think that in looking at her personality type over the past several years, there's some things that I wanted to bring up, okay? When I think about Issa Rae, her personality is a lot different than the majority of women that we go over from a bad behavior perspective all over the YouTube channel. So I think it's important to talk about these situations, especially when they reach their goal, okay? There's a very important other reason why I wanted to talk about this as well, but let's look at what the article says real quick, okay? She announced she is married on Monday by posting stunning photos of her in France. All right, you can go down here. You can see some of the photos. I'll leave a link to this down below. Actually, knowing that she's 36 years old and looking at the gentleman to the right, he looks 36, if not younger. Okay, maybe he just looks young for his age, the same way I do. But anyway, so you can see right here in the Instagram post, impromptu photo shoot in a custom Vera Wang dress. My girls came to help me, but they coincidentally had on the same dress. So she's being tongue-in-cheek, okay? Then I took a few flicks with somebody's husband. So this was her announcement, okay? Very tongue-in-cheek with this announcing of this very important, pivotal step within her life, okay? Now, coming out a little bit further in the article, it says Rae, 36, has been notably private about her relationship with the businessman, okay? But some speculated back in 2019 that she was engaged when she appeared on the cover of Essence with what looked like an engagement ring, okay? Here's the reason why I wanted to cover this outside of the other things that I mentioned. One of the biggest things that I think a lot of dudes are scared about when they talk about the concept of marrying the modern lady today, there's actually a ton of goddamn reasons. Because I would say more dudes are scared of the divorce than the actual marriage in and of itself. So, you know what I'm saying? Especially being the breadwinner. And you know, my assumption is that she's the breadwinner, but I could be wrong. There's really not a lot to go off of this particular article. However, I think it says a lot in the social media era today as to have someone that doesn't post publicly about relationships. I actually think that social media leads to way more dysfunction within relationships and breakups in relationships because of the sharing nature of it. I think that, you know, a relationship is something that should be between the two people, not the two people, and then for everyone else for public consumption and entertainment. Not to mention the delusion or the lack of reality that is created for the modern woman today if they take a look at how marriage is purported through the highlights of other people's lives and what that comparison can do within themselves. Because I think that way more women would get the outcome of marriage more often. They focused on being good partners or healing the trauma or the PTSD that existed within themselves versus emulating the highlights that they see within the media. I think a lot of younger people today get it misconstrued what social media actually is. Okay. Essentially, it's a company that is crowdsourcing entertainment for everybody else. So they don't make any money unless there's a network of people that are creating content to entertain other people. That's really what it is. That's why I'm not on social media, except for from a business perspective, right? Because it really doesn't have a lot of benefit within my life. Now, what we talk about on this channel all day is the concept of those who want to get married for the wedding as opposed to wanting to get married for the marriage, okay? And I think it's a key indicator, along with her extremely valuable temperament in representing a woman today. Also with this idea within, especially being in media, not having to put shit on Jump Street. And it made me actually think of a article that talked about being able to achieve your goals and how being public with your goals actually de-incentivizes you to complete your goals. Let's go over that article. Title: Why Sharing Your Goals Makes Them Less Achievable. The more committed to your goals, the more secretive you should be about them. Okay, let's read on. Social media is saturated with New Year's resolutions, many having to do with losing weight. According to Nielsen.com, the top 2 2015 New Year's resolutions were to stay fit and healthy. This article was actually written back in 2018, but that doesn't matter. Okay, it is not surprising that gym memberships tend to trend upwards during the first few months of the year. How many of us have announced our goals to lose weight to the world and end up staying the same or even gaining more weight the next year? You can think of resolutions as setting goals or setting intentions. Being satisfied with progress towards our goal is associative with positive emotions. These positive emotions provide the motivation necessary to continue pursuing our goals. Unfortunately, setting a goal does not always culminate in a desirable change. Thus, a critical solution would have to address how to close the gap between intention and implementation. Pay attention. One demonstrable way to close this gap is to privatize our intentions, right? People tend to make their goals public, but research has shown us that publicizing intentions might jeopardize chances to achieve our goals. Guys, immediately when I think about this, I actually think about this YouTube channel right here. When I set it for myself, like, yo, I want to be a YouTube creator, right? I got so hungry. I dived down deep. I didn't tell nobody what was going on. I just created because I knew at the end of the day, if I publicize my goals, I wouldn't be able to necessarily rely on the friends within my life to continue it. If the product is good, people will follow the product. Peter Gorit published a paper titled "Does Social Reality Widen the Intention Behavior Gap?" In this paper, Gorit and colleagues demonstrate the deleterious effects of making intentions public in field and lab settings. The conclusions was that when we publicize our goals, especially the ones that have to do with our identity, our goal-related performance is compromised. Ironically, this effect was only found for participants who were very committed to their goal. All right? Lessons learned is that the more passionate you are about the goals, the more secretive you should be about them. Now, here's the actual explanation of the summary of the study. Why would making our goals public reduce the likelihood of achieving them? Well, making goals and any progress towards implementation generate positive reward feelings, okay? Where does the positive reward comes from? It comes from the dopamine in our brains. In order for these emotions to be motivational, until our goals are realized, the reward has to be time released. Our brain cannot afford to be logically mathematical reality machines at all times. That would be too costly. When our brain is tricked into thinking that the goal was achieved, it stops investing energy towards further implementation actions. What is it that this means? All right. What this means is that when you talk about your goals, when you publicize your goals, when you go up on social media and say, this is what I'm doing, this is what I'm starting, you know, whether or not it's that weight loss goal or for the 5 ladies that are down up in here, I want to get married, that, or even a couple of the dudes in here that want to have the goal of getting married. Publicizing it, you get an immediate dopamine reward of publicizing, of getting people attached to the idea that this is something that you will try to do. So when you receive that reward, it lessens the likelihood that you will complete that reward because you've received the influx of the dopamine to your brain, the validation, the affirmation of what you can see in those comments, so forth, the like button that was hit. So then you feel it there. But when you think about this, you have to think about the concept of delayed gratification. Think how much more impactful it would be if you don't tell people about your goals, right? And then you complete your goals, and then it's an announcement that I had this as a goal, but not only just that, but I have completed it. And because you delay that gratification, because you want that goal so much, you go at it that much harder in order to achieve it. And the psychological reason is that you haven't felt that influx of dopamine into your brain, that reward deep into your brain. So you continue to pursue it out until you get it. As you can see right here, the more others admire our goals, the more dopamine rush we get, and the less likely we are to execute them into the future, doing the necessary actions to implement them. Guys, I'm gonna leave this article down below. As you can see, there's a lot more information that's in it that's gonna describe it even more. That's really why I wanted to talk about this particular article, so you guys can continue to cement the ideas of delayed gratification in announcing the things that you're trying to do within your life. I think that what aided, and really it's a private life for Issa Rae, you know, when it comes to her relationship, so we really don't know. But what I think what aided within that is that she kept this news, this information private, probably only to her very close family and extremely close friends, okay? It doesn't mean that you don't have to let people know kind of what your goals are at within life at all. But this announcing of it, it's like people want to get rewarded for the announcement. I think that the inherent fallacy of this is that people say, well, if I publicly announce it, then that means that I have to do it. But I actually think starting the article talking about weight loss is a fantastic way to go against that logic. Also, the logic in this is that many more modern dudes today are getting smarter with understanding what are the key indicators and the red flags that she is demonstrating that helps me understand that she's doing it for the wedding and not for the marriage, okay? Those that post up all of the shit for the external validation for everybody else, that's a key indicator that she's doing it for the marriage, which thereby is a key indicator that you probably gonna get your shit took in about 7 years. But I really wanted to show here the idea of, as you set and make your goals, make sure that you're not doing it in a fashion as to get a reward for it just for setting said goals. All right, set those goals, gents, so you can become the things that they thought that you never could. Okay, questions, comments, concerns, y'all already know what to do. Mediocre tutorials and reviews at gmail.com. Guys, feel free to hit me up. You enjoy videos like this? Let me know down in the comment box down below. I know this is a change of some sort from the usual content that we do, but let me know down below. Until next time, YouTube. Peace. Your boy a little sore, all right? Peace.